All right, welcome everybody to a Sunday Musings, part of the Oasis 3 season, I believe. I don't know. These might shuffle. Apologies if it's not. I need to put lids on my canals. So, anyways, a lot going on today. I've actually been doing a little bit of building off screen and work on my garden. Now, that's actually potentially a lethal fall. I should probably put up a wall and a border. I don't know if I want to, how far I want to extend it because I like how the villagers have kind of like an open. I don't know. Maybe I can even work on building. That's a thing. This could be like an aquarium, and part of the roof is I like it. And then we'll build houses along here, or maybe even not even here. Like we could build houses along the beach, and then have docks, so then they could have like water transportation and stuff. Yes, I like it. We're gonna be building up Oasis quite a bit. So, anyways, a few things going on. Also, real quick, that person's changed again. So that is for sure a mechanic. Whenever I see things like that, it's like, did it really change? I mean, because anything's possible with video games. They can make an update. Things could be completely different. Um, in fact, one of the recent things, was watching Waddles talk about how the clay pots were eating items. Like, there was a glitch that sometimes when you put an item in a clay pot, it wouldn't. I don't think it was persistent. That was probably it. So persistent means that it stays after you save and leave. So just like persistent data or volatile data. So it's not like it's a bomb going off, but oh shoot. Oh well, I don't even think we really need a lot of this right now. Well, I was gonna say, well, I could plant it if I got there quick enough, but I did not. I was like, do I have some seeds in my inventory? No. Then I gotta till the land and place it there. So that's fine. Um, anyways, we're always learning cool computer facts. I think they're cool. Whatever. You can disagree. So, but yeah, look at this. Oh, like I mean, it's nice to be able to stargaze and then at the same time do that. But what we should do is even make an observatory. I mean, because by all means, we could do more glass bottom stuff. In fact, I feel like all of the floors on any structures we have out here should have a glass bottom. It can still have the wooden frame, but like just so you can kind of enjoy this as you're walking around, like doing whatever. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get my chest. Although this is massive, like you could put like a whole tennis court in here, or like five. Anyways, so and as far as musings go, a lot going on as far as politics and I don't know. I've still been loosely trying to encourage the Pope to. I, I don't know what the proper term for it is. Just come out and say that weed isn't all that bad. That's basically the gist of it. He doesn't even have to like support it. He just has to say, stop bothering people for it. That's it. And maybe that's how I should be phrasing it. I feel like I have, but again, implied versus actually stated, there's a big difference, and that's kind of something that I recently was talking with someone, and we were doing some problem solving as far as like HR type stuff, and like my friend was having an issue with a coworker, and what we were talking about was, and this was another, anyways, it was um, make sure you explicitly say what you mean what you say, and say what you mean, because even though we like to think that people will get the hint, and we try to be polite so to not hurt people's feelings, and so we'll try to say things, and it's very vague and ambiguous, and it's kind of hard to really have a one size fits all blanket statement for this kind of situation. But basically, you know, you can you can be too polite to where communication is lost or disrupted, and that can cause issues. Because then, if the communication wasn't received, like you're trying to drop hints, and this is what drove me nuts. Like I'm not, not currently dating, not interested at all. Like I don't, I just, because I've had so many relationships where it's like you got to be a police detective. You gotta know exactly what's going on, and like and if you miss a hint, oh, yeah. Granted, there was a lot of other stuff going on. So in fairness to the specific ex that I'm talking about, because yeah, she flipped out. I hope she doesn't mind me talking. I mean, we're not going to say the name or anything, but she flipped out once when she found I had. It wasn't even actual adult magazines. It was it was like having a Victoria's Secret catalog. Like I was going to buy some laundry or something, but in fact, it might have been Victoria's Secret now that I think about it. But like, and it's always funny because whenever I've gone with a girlfriend and like gone shopping, and then they drag me in there, like, I mean, and it's fun because I'm imagining what she's gonna look like, but it's horrible because I'm like, oh man, I gotta hide my eyes. If I even smile at any of the other people in here, I'm toast. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. And that's what every guy like. I mean, and gal too. I mean, for gals with gals, that's kind of a thing. You gotta something to be aware of when dating gals and overly sensitive and not overly, because that implies that there's a problem. None of these are actual problems, I should say, as far as like, defects that are, worth too much thought. Like they're more undesirable behavior, but you can go about fixing that problem. It's a problem for you. It's a you problem for sure, not them. But it's something that you can work on with them to kind of minimize. And by that I mean just open communication with your partner, he, her, or anyone in between. I like saying that because that is kind of like the one size fits all for identification. Like the new pronoun thing, I don't like it as much. I mean, I'll do it just because I don't want to, I don't want anyone to feel put out or uncomfortable or less than human. And that's at the end of the day why so many people are freaking out about the pronoun stuff. And I say that meaning like there are people that will literally just bite your, well, not literally, but like they will flip on you. And same the other way too. There are people that are so fed up with it that they'll just like, like this, and they'll say something, that crosses the line, like demon rats or libtards or sorry, I mentioned I was doing about to do some political discussion on the X app, and I decided against it because going down that whole road, like you pretty much need to expect that if you comment on someone's post about something that conflicts politically, and just be like, hey, and I do have quite the echo chamber of Democrat stuff going on, and people have called me libtard. Like once they know me, not so much. I mean, once they know me, they're like, why do you call yourself a Democrat? Because I am very, right leaning for a lot of things, like respecting religion and like the values of religion. However, I am a very outspoken. I mean, and that's why I don't talk politics on Facebook anymore. I'm very outspoken about people's rights, especially when it comes to like pro-choice, because that is not my decision, and I know how it feels to have someone impose their will upon you forcefully. Like our country was founded on, England forcing religion on us, to the point where it was unbearable. And the Protestants, like I've said it before, I was raised Protestant. I mean, I don't do jack now, but like I'm a skeptical Christian, meaning I believe in a lot of the Christian values, but when it starts to get crazy, I ignore it. Like, and that's how a lot of the people in my church were. They were just like, oh, and I hate saying church because it's so uncomfortable for so many people. Because it is just so abused and so messed up. And like, and it's because of these exact points, like the pro-choice point, which can be fixed, by the way, or at least amended. It can be slightly fixed, I should say, not completely. I mean, I don't think any of these problems we're actually going to solve completely and overnight. I mean, all of this is a work in progress. But as far as the abortion pro-choice thing, you don't need to get to that point if contraceptives are available to all. That's it. I mean, condoms are expensive. They're so expensive. So is everything else. Doctor's visits, like, and then you got to get the courage to go do it. And I'm speaking mostly for the young ladies because there's not a lot of male birth control as far as the doctor's sense. And I have heard, I've talked to my doctor about a vasectomy, and those are not guaranteed to be reversible. So for anyone out there saying, to your partner, be like, for any of the ladies out there that don't want to get pregnant, just be like, oh, get a vasectomy. You'll be fine. You can just undo it. Wrong. Wrong. That's very wrong. In fact, they could lose their ability to procreate for the rest of their life. So it's not, and I'm not saying that to like get, dog on any ladies out there or any women, but the heman do have an issue with this. Condoms are about as best as we got. Us heman. See, I'm gonna start saying it. It's a thing now. Just like what is that? Horrible bosses. Like, I'd like to bend her over a barrel and show her all 50 states. And the guy's like, what? Where's that from? He's like, it's in that movie. He's like, what movie? The one movie. He's like, no, it's not. And then the other guy looks at the camera, but now it is. So heman, them, and women. It's a really neat solution of like, I guess they are more pronouns, technically. But when you generally think of pronouns in the current societal state, it's, you know, he, him, his, and I even add L to mine, where I list it, because I do list it at my work. We're a pretty forward-thinking company, and and a lot of places kind of do anyway. Diversity, inclusion. So what is it? DEIB, diversity, equality, inclusion, and I forget what B stands for. But anyways, it's just the state of the world. Like most businesses and most um, are doing that. Anyways, my point is, it's a different set of pronouns. Still pronouns, if you're talking grammatically, because it is a word that is in place of a person's name. That's all pronoun is. Like an identifier. And that's a lot of what racism is too. It's just identifiers that don't adequately take into consideration, all those involved, those being identified. And even a lot of that, like specifically black racism in America. I mean, yeah, and it is still alive and well. Like it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. Great, hooray for us. Give us a pat on. No, I'm just kidding. It's still horrible, and it's also projected and received too. And not to sound like um, I have a lot of darker skinned friends, there you go, that have been pulled over, that have had interactions with police. Some have actually gotten in trouble, had criminal records and all that, checkered pasts, and others have not. It's a wide gambit. I know a lot of white people, well, a lot more, and that's where the argument usually goes with like the whole BLM stuff and like blue lives matter and all lives matter. And both sides are saying essentially the same thing. And a lot of like the one side is confused because they're law abiding and they wouldn't dream of, or at least they do their best to. They might slip up, like we should allow everybody. In fact, sorry, real quick, that's in the prayer. Allow us or to forgive our transgressions against us. And what is it? The Lord's prayer, like give us our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Right there, like in the thing that we said almost every wait, yeah, we said it every Sunday. Every Sunday, and when we got grape juice because we were Protestants and we were like, wine, not so much for this congregation. There was a lot of recovering alcoholics in my church. Why? Because we were a small mountain community where drinking's a lot of all you got going on. Like, we don't have malls, we don't have movie theaters, we don't have all this fancy stuff. It's like, oh, we could go get a 40 and get hammered. Like, all right, cool. And a lot of places are like that, especially poorer places. Because if you have a PS5 or a PS4, like I hope my kids do okay when they get older, like, they have this stuff. So in theory, yes. Although, in theory as well, they have an inquisitive nature, which we encourage teaching people. And it doesn't help that a lot of substances are now coming out to be, oh, just kidding, these are actually okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy, like specifically cannabis and even magic mushrooms. Like, now I'm not saying go out and do them. Good Lord, no. It's legal for clinical use in Colorado. So if you're depressed, or if you suffer from PTSD, or if you suffer from drug addiction, alcohol addiction, which honestly, alcohol is the worst drug addiction, worse than opiate or meth because alcohol is available at every corner store. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can get it. You can get it. So, and even if you can't afford it, just ask. People give you money. They'll help you get it. So, anyways, my point is, as far as substances goes, that's horrible. But and back to the Lord's Prayer, like forgiving people their transgressions. Now, that's not saying be a complete pushover. That's not saying like let somebody just rob you blind. Like still get even, make it right. Always make it right. And that's what like people don't understand. It's like some people. That's why it's kind of like more of a golden trio, like do unto others as you'd have done unto you, and expect nothing in return. So you're closing the loop right there. You're closing the communication loop or the favor loop. And that's really a big thing, especially in the workplace, but with friendships and relationships too. Like if you do something nice for somebody and then you expect something back, or that's why holidays are so stressful too. It's like, ooh, did I give a good gift? Well, they didn't give me anything. And it's not so much that they're mad that like, wait, why didn't they give me anything, or why did they get me something cruddy? It's more like a relief, like, whew, I'm off the hook, I'm good, because the debt owed from getting a gift, it's a real thing. mm. Happy holidays, by the way. Sorry if that was really loud right in the microphone. I should do better about that. But no, and I actually just made the last two videos public again because I started talking about Israel and Gaza, and I feel bad whenever I do that. Same with racism too. If I'm not able to close the loop, as it were, for that particular conversation at that particular time, and we all need to do better about that as well. So closing the loop, communication wise, it's all bad, and I know I repeated that multiple times, but at the end of the day, if, say, Mayim Balak heard what I said as a response to what I saw her say, she might think that it was completely heartless and take offense to it. And I understand, because I didn't mean to, but, nobody means to get into a car accident, but they happen all the time, and I don't want that to be left unsaid. So basically, Mayim, if you ever hear this, um, I do worry about Israel, and I do believe that they deserve their own country. They finally need to have a place to call home. I understand that. I totally support that, but I do not support mass genocide. Even no matter what the reason, it does not matter what they do. Like, same with America, and I actually say this 10 times strongly to my own government, and I'm patriotic, mind you. I would fight for this country. I would protect this country. You know, that said, I would protect this country from itself. Because what we did is we went on a massacre for 20 years, and half of this country hated it. Again, South Park had a beautiful representation of this. They had a whole episode dedicated to the left versus the right versus the pro-war and the um, the pro and anti-war. That's it. And again, the miscommunications. A lot of the people on the right thought the people on the left were unpatriotic and wanted us to just be able to get taken over and be a weak country. You know. Also, look. Oh, whoa, whoa! It even changed right there because they can't path to it. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, so it's not patriotic to be concerned about your country and try to defend the country from itself, from making poor decisions that are going to end up costing a lot of people their lives, let alone their livelihoods, their homes. Like, we bombed the crud out of the Middle East. Like, horribly bombed the crud out of it. Like, oh. And we bombed a hospital, too. My roommate, one of the Saudis, actually came up to me and showed me the story from Al Jazeera, because, he gets his news from somewhere else, which is good because a lot of our news stations not only didn't cover it, refused to approach it for a long time. Well, I mean, eventually I think they did. It was like mentioned, and we do that a lot with our news. Is like if there's something awkward or something that would be seen unfavorable, and it's understandable because if you're going to get poor ratings or poor feedback from, why did you blast this all over the front page? That's unpatriotic. Well, we dropped a bomb and it blew up a hospital with people that were healing and people that were sick and needing medical care. And yeah, granted, another one was bombed, and there's still discrepancy. Wait, no. I think it was finally found out that it was Hamas that bombed their own hospital to make it like a false flag thing. But who knows? There's so much death and destruction going on over there, like, and it's all bad. So that's what I would tell Maya. I'd be like, I respect and I sympathize for your position, and don't get me wrong, and mind you, I have to do this already with my friends of a Jewish nature, like. See, and I feel bad because even calling them Jews, like I've heard Jewish people call them that, and then it's like, I do want to remain politically correct and respectful because at no point in this communication am I ever meaning disrespect, and none of us are really. I mean, at first, and that's how it becomes a cause and effect type situation. Is like you might not have intended disrespect, but you show disrespect, and that's why I love Better Call Saul. I'm watching that right now. And even as like Mike, spoilers. Sorry, there's always Breaking Bad spoilers and Better Call Saul spoilers in here. But well, I won't do big ones. Anyways, back to it. Respect. It's mentioned a lot in there because there's a lot of scary people, cartel types, like big time drug dealers, like people that would also, and that's even not fair to say. They're not just a drug dealer because they broke the law and did certain things. Like, we need to get better about that, and it's gonna take time you know, or even if you're going to call and be like, you were at this time, like you were currently employed as, whereas, are you marked for life? Like, might as well just go get a full body tattoo of a different color of skin because now I am completely someone different. And even that being a problem too. Because the only reason we have violence in this world is because people feel that others are less than human. Because nobody, given well, most situations, like if you put someone in a room with another human being and you said, kill this person, you have no idea who this person is, what they've done, no motivation to do it. You're just like, kill this person. No, of course not. Why? Are you kidding me? You crazy? That's because it's a human being. And that's what Christianity is all about is like, the main 10 things. It's like if you're going to remember 10 things, here's the 10 commandments. Don't kill. That's it. Just don't. It's very simple. It's very black and white, really. And if we're going to be a Christian nation, Don't kill. Wait, but it's good for business. No, don't kill. Oh wait, but this accidentally killed them because of the pollutants we spilled. No, don't kill. It's very simple. And I'm sorry, like if God exists and if she's up there listening, or he, or whatever, or in between, or it, it's almighty, whatever, probably doesn't have a gender. Probably has all genders. How awkward is that going to be if it comes out like a flying spaghetti monster, but it's like an octopus, like has all the genders? Oh, I think that was actually the thing in Incredibad, the Lonely Island CD. So those that know, if you know, you know, with the alien. Anyways, I digress. But no, and that's why I get upset with religion, like when people just kind of casually throw it around. And I apologize, I don't mean to just casually throw it around like that, but I will, with the understanding that I'm critiquing it, constructive criticism, trying to suggest what could be done better, because you best believe I'm telling the Pope this too. And what a world we live in. Now, he may or may not have ever seen it. He probably has people that scan his Twitter, or his X app, sorry, formerly known as Twitter, and then relay important things to him, like, oh yes, we have this. Oh, this one's concerning. And then the rest of them, they're just like, nope, we're not going to let His Holiness see that. And I get it. The guy's older. Like his heart's probably, probably can't handle a lot of the things that the younger people can handle, because not only that, like their bodies are in better condition just because of youth, but also um, exposure. It's the same with tech. I work in IT and I work with a lot of people that are, kind of older, or maybe they don't have the tech familiarity. I helped someone who didn't look much older than me the other day, and was struggling with a certain thing, and understandably so. I have facepalm moments daily, like, and that's what I remind people is like, don't get down on yourself, like, and it's same with communication, like, because I've done communication technology classes, well, a class. Oh, hold on. My point is I've studied it. I've had a class in psychology, well, that I took like 5 times. I finally got an A in it, but like, oh wait, did I? I can't remember, but I did really good on the tests, the ones that I actually made it to. And my college career was a little hazy for the first 2 years, and not even hazy. It was drunk, like sloppy, like too much partying, not enough focus, not enough discipline. But at the same time, I'd gone from potential Marine to changing my mind completely about, well, murder, outright murder. I was ready to murder a bunch of Middle Eastern people after 9/11, and then I wasn't. And then I lived with a bunch of people from Saudi Arabia who technically were the ones that were supposedly behind it all. Saudis, which I don't believe it, by the way. Like, even if they were Saudi, they were probably paid by us. Like, I mean, I just don't buy it. Like, we needed a false flag. We needed to invade a country, or really a region, for 20 years and spend billions, if not trillions of dollars to old Dick Cheney. Jerk off. Sorry, I hate Dick Cheney. I mean, and the dude shot somebody and he's totally fine. I know people that, maybe just slapped someone. They're in prison. Like, and Dick Cheney, like, I mean, yeah, it was an accident. Was it though? And if it was an accidental, like, who is able to shoot somebody and doesn't get their 2A revoked? Like, that's a red flag right there if I ever, saw it. Like, privileged. And that's the thing. So, and maybe he wouldn't normally get in trouble for that. But it's also, you're under a microscope when you're in that position. So you best believe you're not above the law. Anyways, I mean, and as I say that, he totally was. Like, nothing happened to him. He still owns Halliburton, as far as I know. Like, still making tons of money off of death and, like, destruction. Which, it's a necessary evil to a point in case another Hitler rises up. But look at our government. Like, and I will say, I will lump Obama in this too. Like, Obama bombed a lot of places. And that's the thing. That's bipartisan, like us killing people. So, and that's concerning. And people get mad at me too when they say that, because I critique Obama for that. Like, oh, and even I do appreciate the some people that will say something like, those were hard decisions that he had to make. And I get that. And I get that he probably was powerless in a lot of those situations. Like, he was either already in control, or, and the way our government works is no president is in complete control of anything. Like, there are still checks and balances. That's by design. We designed our government to do that. So you got the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and then you got the executive branch, which, the judicial branch is kind of being a prick right now with the student loan stuff, but, and then the greed. And I get it. It's not just greed. It's somebody's livelihood, somebody's money, like their career, a lot of people's careers. And that's why I worry about A little bit of worry for the side projects of like Communl and trying to do like zero to low interest loans and just personal loans from the wealthy people that can afford it to the people that could use a hand. Like, and really that's all of us at the end of the day. Like, who could honestly say that if you were just loaned 5 grand or 10 grand tomorrow at 1.5% interest for the next 5 years, who would not like love that? You could just, I mean, okay, maybe people without credit card debt, but I got credit card debt. I got student loans. Like that would be nice to kind of like pay off some of the more expensive ones of those and then pay the 1.5% interest. That's a dream, or 0% interest. Like say you do the first year for zero interest. Whew, I get a year where I'm not paying for interest. I'm not paying to rent money. Like, and I'm sorry, interest sucks. Like, and it's so one-sided too. Like, if you get a savings account, unless you're like me, my one of the banks that I was at, they accidentally gave me like 10% on my savings account, and I was making like 10 to 20 bucks a month with only a few $100s in there. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, and then one thing led to another. I mean, I found out later, and they actually, so I owed a lot of money for not canceling a card, and I was unaware that still had open, or it was oh, like I had an overdraw, and they continued to pile up fees. So I ended up I was owing like $300 just because I didn't have enough money in my account at one time, and because I didn't pay the bill, it just kept racking up, and thankfully I think that's part of what Biden did away with the junk fees, because it's like it's ridiculous. Like you make a mistake, and through a little fault of my own, I wasn't aware of getting the communications. Like I think they were going to the wrong address or something. I don't even remember, but like I didn't know. I mean, and I was like, oh shoot. But then when they looked at I went in to talk to them. They looked at my account. They're like, oh, they fixed the glitch. And then they said I didn't need to pay anything. So, and that's the thing. Like, mistakes happen, but unfavorably so. So when the mistake happens on my side, you pay up, chump. When the mistake happens on the other side, oh, don't worry, sir. Oh, my goodness, sir. Don't worry about that. Oh, good day. Harumph, harumph. Like, I'm just kidding. I was like, do my Rick and Morty impression there. Also, where are we at? I feel like I've been... Okay, it is almost 30 minutes. I worry about that because I've rambled for like an hour and a half before. I think those videos are still up somewhere. But that's my streaming too. That's why I stopped streaming, because it was just like I was just like talking for like 3 hours straight. It is doable, but and I'll do it in these things. But at least I get to get up, go take a break. I still drink my water, my coffee. Go start a load of laundry. Anyways, racism, death, murder, genocide, it all comes down to one thing: dehumanization. If you're thought to be less than a person, see? Now that versus, see, I don't even want to do this because these serve a function. Oh, this guy. Oh, see, I hate that. A lot worse, huh? So why? Why? Was that one life better than the other in the grand scales? If we're gonna go see Osiris tomorrow, like that's one of the Egyptian gods. I think that's the god of death. I don't know. I don't remember how that all works. But I just killed a human, and I killed a llama. And notice the llama, it sucked. It was like, oh, llama, no. And then I killed a person, and some people watching are probably like, whoa, dude, chill. What are you doing? Yeah. Now imagine real life. We eat, hamburgers daily in some situations, which are, you got to kill a cow. I'm also waiting for this guy to come up and like, yeah. Anyways, um, it's because as soon as you start thinking of a life as less than human, it doesn't matter as much. It's easier to take. Also, I think. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I think one of those leads isn't being used now. And I kill wandering traders like it's going out of style, because I even think of them as less than villagers, because in this game they serve even less of a purpose, even though they're living things, in a game sense. Now, if I was doing this in real life, no. I would not even slap somebody, unless they slap me first. I will defend myself, lethally if I have to, but I mean, there are several ways to defend yourself before it gets to that. In fact, the best way is just to break an arm or a leg. And then you don't got to kill him. So, but this isn't real life, and that's why in games in Fortnite, I'll buckshot someone right to the face, just boom, It's like, no. I mean, if I was defending myself, okay, I guess buckshot to the face. And I am a good shot. Haven't shot a gun in a long time. Not legally allowed to. Just kidding. But I mean, the military would probably take me back and do some stuff. Not back as in I ever did it, but they would take me, accept me if I applied now, probably. Actually, now I think I'm too old to get into that, but they would make some accommodations, I'm sure. Anyways, that's now closer to 30 minutes. Whoops. 30 on the dot. All right, ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one.